Hello,
Hi.
welcome. Today's a hot kind of night. I had the kids outside for a while playing in the mud, and we had to come in and take a shower, so I wasn't about to get my hair all did up again.
I think hats are great.
So tonight, we're going to talk about reclaiming yourself in the midst of parenthood.
I feel like this is something we've struggled with for a lot of years and are just starting to walk down that road better, I think, than we've done before. But we had asked questions about what you want to talk about tonight, and
We did. Tonight's one of those nights we're going to do that.
but
'cause
it
I
was
think it's fun.
great because a lot of the questions people wanted to talk about.
We're all dealing with the same stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
We're all the same. Hi, Lorenzo.
So, yeah, tell us where you're from. And the other thing I was thinking about, tell us the coolest thing so far that's happened to you in 2016. Wait a minute, we're in 2017. Tell us the coolest thing that's happened to you in 2017 so far. Like, maybe something happened to you, maybe something, just a cool moment with your kids or your spouse. Like, just tell us a story.
Or funny.
Yeah, funny.
Funny would be good, too.
Yeah, what's a fun thing that's happened? I want to dive in.
And where you're from.
And where you're
Say
from.
where you're from.
Yeah, and we're going to interact with you as we go here. But one of the things we want to do is, as we do that, is I'm going to read some stuff that we got today because it's all very similar to who we are and what we struggle with, and I just think it's really cool. And so,
You know when you read stuff and you're like, it's really oh my gosh, I'm not the only one.
yeah.
But you put it in words better than I've been able to articulate it. You know?
And I think what's really cool about this, Mary from
Hi,
Florida,
Florida.
hello, Lorenzo from Texas, great to have you tonight.
We're in Nashville,
We are talking
Tennessee.
about reclaiming yourself.
Pennsylvania. Hi, Mandy.
And so, one of my excitements
Indiana, hi,
about
Amber.
this is we took questions today. And so, what we're excited about doing, what I'm excited about, the reason we titled it this was because we're on this journey, right? And we talk about being on this journey together. And that's what this is. And so, even some of these questions tonight of, hey, here's what we want to talk about, some of these don't have answers. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because I think the answer is in the journey. That it's in the journey. And so that was deep.
That was well said, actually.
That was deep. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's this is coming from our Instagram, and this is one of the deals we got tonight. And this is coming from our friend Rachel, Refine and Restore, and she leads a ministry as well. So you want to check that out. She's and she's got toddlers, twins actually, and then a set of twins at 4, and then a 3-year-old as well. So she's got
What?
3, 4,
That's
3
like a small
kids.
preschool.
Yeah, at her house.
That's what that is.
And she's running ministry. So this is a great question. I think this is huge, and I think this is one of those things. And if you guys have questions and things that you want us to talk about, especially as it talks about reclaiming parenthood,
Hi, Cindy.
reclaiming yourself in the midst of parenthood, just ask those questions.
Not that we know the answers. We're just talking about it.
We're
I
journeying
think that's
together. That's right.
Yeah.
So she says, I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety as it relates to my 3 toddlers. I struggle with perfectionism. I've let go a lot of the control tendencies, but now I feel like I'm erring on the side of leniency. Ever been there? Like if you've been there. I've got to let go of my control tendencies. Okay, yeah. Then it was complete chaos around here because I got too lenient. Now I'm trying to find a happy medium, and to be honest, my strive to control is coming out in more forceful outbursts than I was even aware I could make. I always say that parenthood is where you realize that your actually heart is deceitful and wicked above all things. So there's those.
So true.
So
Oh my
those
gosh.
deals. I ask forgiveness from my kids, but yet the cycle continues of stress, anxiety, seeking some semblance of control. And then it goes on.
Yes.
And she says, I'm also trying to manage my personal ministry endeavors. Yes, I work in ministry, coaching others to personal and spiritual growth, and yet I find myself needing my same advice. Can I get a high five?
Amen.
Can I get a pound it?
Amen.
And an amen?
All the amens,
We
yeah.
understand that for sure. So how do I find a healthy balance? How do I enjoy motherhood, again, in the midst of calling I feel to be pursuing a part-time ministry on the side? How do I stop the guilt I feel with the balance struggle of the balance?
Can I just tell you, Rachel, when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's my life.
Yeah.
No, really.
Yeah.
I mean, a few differences, minor, but
Yeah.
I might not struggle with perfectionism quite as much, maybe, but I used to.
So I think let's start there,
Okay.
because this is a journey. We're gonna try to
Hi, Amanda.
answer
Hi,
this,
Haley.
but here's the
Yes.
thing. Here's the
Same
thing.
boat as Rachel. Yes.
Here's the thing that I think is important. Again, we will not tonight give you 3 steps to answering, to becoming
I think you should be afraid if someone ever did.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the answer is in the journey. And what we're discovering in the midst of this is I get that whole feeling like I gotta control, but also being too lenient. Because we started out this parenting journey where I was the one who was more lenient and giving grace, and you're the one who's coming down hard. And
let's be real, you still are.
and you come down hard, and then but I'm harder on them now than I used to be.
Oh, you're so much better.
Harder.
You are.
I don't know
totally.
if it's better though at times. Like I believe, that there are moments like tonight where our son is eating dinner off of the table rather than his plate, and I'm going, dude, what are you doing? That's why the plate is there. Like, but I'm like, on the other hand, in the back of my mind, I'm going, should I just let him go? Should I just let him eat from the table? Like, and just, he's a child, he's 4. Like, and so I think the toddlerhood is a major part of this. And I think that, we can, if you're trying to be perfect in toddlerhood, forget it. Like, toddlers are all over the map. Their brain is developing. They have no emotion regulation. They're learning emotion regulation. They have no cognitive flexibility. They go from 0 to 100 like that, and they can. And yes, we need to make sure that we're setting limits, but on the other hand, we also have to understand where they are and their uniqueness and their personalities. And there's a balance there. And for us, we keep each other in check in that regard as best that we can. Where if I feel like she's being too harsh or the other way around, we try to do our best to talk to each other about it. But anyway, I think part of that journey is huge.
Oh, I totally agree. But I also think too, like what she's struggling with, it's almost that pendulum thing, right? Where you start out on this side and it might be a reaction to the way you were parented or a response to that, and you go the other way. And so you try that for a while, and then you realize you don't like who you are, or you're becoming someone you don't like, or it's, your kids obviously aren't responding, or they are responding, and then you shift back. But I feel like I think that's so much of like this parenthood journey, right?
And one thing,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead, because I was gonna.
One thing we go back to a lot is Safe House. So in Safe House, a lot of people ask about Safe House, and in the book Safe House, which this is the book that I wrote, and then this is the parent study.
Oh yeah, that was somebody's question. Someone asked the difference between the book and then the study, which is like, this is a study with a
DVD, 6-week study.
And they just were asking the difference between the two.
But
do you want to say
what this is about, what this does, this helps us, because what I described in Safe House is the foundation of being emotionally safe with our kids is a secure parent. It's becoming a secure parent, being a secure parent. That's
what I've never been.
And that's what Rachel's alluding to here. Yes. is we feel like, because we're ebbing and flowing.
Yes.
You have been.
Yes.
I think you have to stop there too. I think that's another thing we have to stop is, I think I hear the best moms and the best parents on the planet feeling like they're messing up their kids and feeling guilty because they feel like they're messing up their kids. I don't think there's a mom on the planet that goes, I'm doing a good job. I've yet to meet a mom who says, I'm doing a good job. And I think in that, we have to give ourselves grace. Yeah. But as a result, in this, the foundation, I'm talking about the foundation of being emotionally safe, is focusing on ourselves, because I believe what Brene Brown talks about. Brene Brown has this amazing quote. She says that really parenting is about becoming the adult that you want your children to grow up to be.
I love that so much.
And I started looking at myself and my journey and how hard, just how I was not finding joy. It comes down to finding joy in the midst of parenting and being present with your kids. And I wasn't finding joy. I don't necessarily enjoy getting down on the floor and playing with my kids. It's not the first thing that I want to do. But when I'm done doing it, it's always the most rewarding part of my day. It's a weird conflictual thing that I have, that I don't look forward to it. I want to do other things, but then after it's done, I'm like, why don't I do this more often? But what I've done personally this year, and I think you can talk about this a little bit, is I have actually started putting things into my own life because I neglect myself more than I neglect anybody else. I will put my head to the grindstone, and she hates it because I'm always saying, we got to crank this out, and I'm busting my tail. And
he makes it sound like life has to be survived, you know.
But that's the way we feel.
But I think that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
And so, but I neglect myself. I stopped working out. I wasn't getting up as early as I should have been to read my Bible and to spend alone time because that's how I rejuvenate.
Yeah.
And I started in the new year, I started doing those things again because I'm going, if I don't focus on me, I'm not going to be the best dad I can be for my kids, and I'm also not going to be the best husband I can be for my wife. And so I think if there's anything to be said here in this whole reclaiming piece is we got to start focusing on ourselves as parents, and that is not selfish.
Amen.
That is not selfish. It is the best thing that we can do for our families. I genuinely believe that.
I totally believe that.
Because I think we are busting our tails, as I say. And not only that, we're feeling guilty because we still feel like we're not doing enough. Because yes, as Haley says, it feels like survival.
Yeah.
It feels like we're constantly surviving and we're not thriving.
But it's exactly it. It's like we literally sacrifice ourselves on the altar of parenthood. And yet we still feel like that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And that we haven't given enough.
And
that our kids deserve more, and that we're still messing them up.
And we're still and then we lay in bed at night awake feeling like I'm a failure as a parent. And
all I hear and all those things are just, you hear the enemy's lies when you verbalize them, but you don't hear them when you just hear them in your head. And they sound like truth. And
even what Rachel's saying in that post there on Instagram is, you know, I can hear Rachel, if you're watching, I can hear like almost like a guilt, like I don't feel like I should probably be
in ministry
right now
and doing something that I think fulfills her.
That fulfills her, absolutely.
Like, and she's excited
and feeling guilty about it. And it's like, no, like we got to be doing those things. Like we got to be doing the things. Now, granted, you have to pray through and think through strategically what's really right. But what I'm saying is, if something's giving you life, run towards what gives you life, because you cannot give on an empty tank. Yeah. Don't forget to have date time with each other. Cindy, hallelujah. Thank you for that, because the marriage is critical.
Well, and I think we started there, and we
did start there.
We started there, and we realized if our marriage wasn't okay, our kids will never be okay. Not never be okay, I shouldn't say that. They will be better when our marriage is better.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
They're in a healthier home. Like,
well, yeah.
If we're in a conflictual relationship,
it's not good.
That's obviously not good for them.
Yeah.
So
research shows that's not good. Yeah.
We needed to. It didn't feel selfish because we understood that was a better end goal, right? We were headed toward the same thing, but that did not ring true for taking time for ourselves, which for us was like spending time with the Lord, working out, even prioritizing time with friends, even exploring something that like brought me life was doing something like when we had started a company, a small company, and I realized like I love to just have a role that was, it just totally engaged a different side of my brain, like that had just been dormant for a while.
Yeah.
And but I totally get what Rachel's saying. I felt guilt over that. But it's been like baby steps where we've realized this is okay too.
Yeah. And I think giving yourself permission and starting by just saying, what brings me life? And talking to your spouse about what brings each other life. And
I think sometimes you can see it in another person when you can't see it in yourself.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were first married? You knew the difference if I had gone to the gym and if I'd spent time with the Lord that day.
Oh, totally. 100%.
And if I hadn't, you were like,
100%.
Go.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Because I don't want to be around you.
Because I can't deal with you.
There are times I want to kick you out to go to the gym. Get to the gym. Yeah. And Carrie just said I have 4 kids, 8 months to 7 years. So hard to find time or babysitter for date night. Carrie, we feel you. And I am telling you, there are seasons of life. I think sometimes we have to sacrifice somewhat. You're not going to get as many date nights, especially out. And biggest thing I would say, Carrie, in that situation is and I think the babysitter thing is a huge thing there, because obviously you want to find somebody you trust.
Yeah.
Two things that come to my mind is
Sorry, I'm laughing.
two
My
different things.
husband pretty much forced me out of the house for a run, Jackie. Yeah.
Two different things that
changes
come to
you,
my mind
totally.
real quickly is parents date swapping with other families.
Yeah.
Where you
did that
swap with other families. Yep.
at our old church.
And you watch kids while everybody takes the kids for one family takes all the kids for one night and watches them while the other couple goes out on the date, and then you swap back and forth. It saves money, and it's a community fellowship, within your church, people you trust. And then the other thing I would say is take advantage of date nights at home. And we do that a lot. We
do.
And be
But
creative with it.
we've had to learn, you have to, make sure to specify, this is a date night. This isn't us just, hanging out in front of the TV
Yeah,
until
you're
we're so
creative.
tired we just fall into bed.
You're creative with the date night.
But
yeah.
And it often involves either turning off the TV.
Turning off the TV. It involves games.
Because that's just too easy for us to just default to that.
Or just doing some type of self-enrichment thing together, which you and I are kind of geeks about, but that's always fun. So, Rachel, thanks for tuning in. We're talking about you tonight, and
sorry.
We are...
But I get you so much.
Feeling
I just
you.
get you.
And thank you also...
Lindsay, hi. I love you.
Thank you, Rachel, for also the comment. I wrote a post this week for Lifeway Women, and it's called 5 Ways to Reset Your Marriage.
Something about marriage.
5 Ways to Reset Your Marriage. We talk about dreaming and dreaming together and redreaming and dreaming again. And so you commented about you being like her and your husband being like me, and she loves to dream. And the thing that I've learned is that sometimes her dreaming...
Home Depot date nights. We literally just had one last night.
We did.
Except we went to Lowe's.
And I bought a rake to do some yard work. So, but we talked about her, her dreaming, and every time she would dream, I like to be content, and I feel like her dreaming is like not being content in life, and I'm trying to shut down her dreams because I'm happy with the way things are, and I'm just and I feel like she's saying I'm not content, so therefore we have to do X, Y, and Z or buy X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, no, and I shut down her dreams. But I learned that your dreaming doesn't have to be carried out. It's just you just love to dream. It's just
and him not dreaming with me was literally crushing me.
Yeah.
Crushing my dreams.
We'll post that there. We'll post that there. Yeah, we'll post that blog here on this. So, guys, it's been fun tonight. I don't interact down there on the comments because we love interacting with you, following up this.
And we can now. It's hard.
It's kind of hard to keep them all. But reclaiming yourself. What do you do?
Hi, Monica from Idaho.
Let's dialogue about that in the comment box as a community of families. How are you reclaiming yourself in the midst of marriage? Parenthood. Yeah.
Marriage too.
How are you reclaiming yourself in the midst of parenthood? And
like the show Parenthood, remember?
That's right. Yeah, we love that show.
We love that show.
How are you reclaiming yourself? What are ways you do that where you don't lose your identity, or that you maybe had lost your identity and you reclaimed it again? What does that look like? And I would just say this, guys, take some pressure off yourselves. Again, I haven't met a mom who hasn't struggled with... I haven't met a mom who says, "Oh, I'm doing a great job," or
I'm doing a good job.
Every parent is struggling with guilt, and so.
Although I could say to you, I'm doing a good job, but there's so much doubt in the back of my head. I know I'm doing a good job. I hope I am. I think I am.
Do you know what?
But there's this doubt in the back of my head that I'm not doing it quite well enough, and that I think my biggest concern is it's going to have lasting effects on those kids. They're going to be in counseling one day.
And they probably will be. It doesn't matter.
In counseling one day, and it is my fault. And that is just, that feels awful. And yet, I feel like I'm sacrificing myself so much.
Yeah.
So then there's resent that plays in there.
Yeah. We live in a sinful world. They're fallen human beings. We're doing the best that we can. And I'm saying this to all of us. We're doing the best that we can. And we need to realize there's God's grace in the midst of that, and just really disciple our kids well. And I think as best that we possibly can. But in my brain, I had a thought.
I bet it was
Oh,
a good
I
one.
was talking to Ryan and Laura Dobson today. By the way, if you haven't checked out Rebel Parenting, they're doing a really cool thing, rebelparenting.org.
I wanna hear it.
Ryan and Laura Dobson, I was a guest on their podcast today, and we were talking about this very thing. And what they were telling me was they were doing some stuff with their marriage, and they realized they actually have a good marriage, but they were focused so much on all the things that they weren't doing well in their marriage that they always felt like they weren't having a good marriage. But everybody kept telling them, oh, we wish we had your marriage and da-da-da-da-da, and you guys have such a great marriage. But he's like, we were focusing so much on what we needed to fix that we weren't focusing. And I think we do the same in parenting.
Yeah.
We focus so much on what we feel like we're not doing well that we're not giving ourselves enough credit for what we are doing well. And so we just really want to encourage you in that. We're journeying with you through this. Where I hope you...
I want you to encourage me in that, is what...
I know, I need to do a better job.
Say that again and again and again.
And again, I think that's the whole point of this. This is a journey, and we're just excited that we get to journey with you all in this. And so put your comments in there. Let's dialogue. Let's talk. How do you reclaim yourself? And let's encourage one another because there's not enough encouraging going on in this regard.
No, and I think it also feels like the reclaiming, at least for me, it felt like this like clawing myself slowly to the surface again. Like it's been so slow and so like desperate. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like lovely and like, oh, I just woke up one day and decided I'm going to start prioritizing myself again. Like it wasn't, it's been sloppy and messy and scraping for...
Yeah, it hasn't been...
For something of...
Yeah. And I would say we're still in it. You're still trying to find your way out.
Oh, 100%.
We're not out of it.
We're not out of it?
We're not out of it.
No.
We're still...
I was asked a question on a radio interview, and it was something to that effect. It sounds like they knew a little bit about us, I guess, and our history or something. And I mean, the question alone brought me to tears because it's hit so much.
I remember that. Yeah.
So.
Comment.
Anyway.
Let's dialogue. We love you guys and are excited to continue journeying with you. So make your comments down there and let's talk. Thank you guys. Have a great
Bye.
night.